Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Media Voices on this amazing channel, Prince Media Television. Like I promised you in a series of our past episodes, we brought up a new segment whereby, before we proceed with the program, we shall be giving you a trending news story that has trended or that has got people talking in the previous week, depending on when we have uploaded the program, or in the previous few days ago. Another important story that got people talking a few days ago was the diagnosis of National Unity Platform lawyer Anthony Wameri. When you look at the work this gentleman has been doing, it is quite amazing. It is quite insightful and impactful for the party, a party that is barely a year old, and one of its top legal persons is battling cancer. The return of former Prime Minister. A few days ago, the President appointed him a special counsel. When this story came out, this story was published by the Daily Monitor on the 8th of October. That's a few days ago. They're just a few years. 2021 is done. 4 years to go. What does this mean for the political terrain in our country? A few days ago, different media platforms, let it be radio, television, online platforms like this one, we published a story about corruption of different world leaders throughout the country. This story was based on a leak of confidential records of 14 offshore providers. When you look at offshore providers, is that whereby a person, for instance, you open up an account and you don't open it up in your mother country. For instance, I can open up an account in maybe the Seychelles or any other country to hide any of my wealth or my businesses. Some of the leaders that were affected came from a number of countries like Seychelles, Panama, Hong Kong, and the others. The USA had a larger presence in the leaked information. Some of the leaders, African leaders, when you come to the African continent, some of the leaders that were affected mostly, or that were cited in this story, include Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Jordanian King Abdullah, among others. Several African leaders, from about 50 of them, from 18 African countries were implicated, including Kenya, Uganda, Angola, and others. And now, when we look at the genesis of this whole publication, in 2016, when we look at, in 2016, the Panama Papers that were published implicating a number of world leaders, including Uganda ourselves. In Uganda, one of the former ministers, Sam Kutesa, was implicated of having accounts and maybe other businesses in this whole story. Then, when you look at these recent leaked documents that were showing different political leaders, this time, a current minister, Jim Muhwezi, through various publications, his name was cited as being involved. I'm having accounts in the different offshore countries. Different publications, the Observer, the Independent, Monitor, and any other mainstream newspapers that you can come across published this story. What are some of the things we should learn from this whole revelation? Of course, many of the implicated leaders have either come out publicly to deny the results of this publication. But what does this mean for the fight of corruption in the different countries? When the leaders have the liberty to hide huge wealth away from the public eye, what does this mean for the fight of the issues of corruption in our country, Uganda? Take for instance, not once, not twice, this same minister has been implicated in a number of scandals. But has he received fair judgment? We leave that to the courts of law or the police. Over and over and now and again, allegations. Many people have tried to come out to implicate this said minister, Jim Mwezi. But where does this leave the fight of corruption in our country? Do our institutions have what it takes to make sure such culprits are brought to book? Take an example. One of the former government workers or public accountants, Godfrey Kazina, was sentenced. Did he receive fair judgment? As we continue to as details continue to come out on the different individuals who have huge accounts, hide their money away from the government institutions. Institutions like State House Anti-Corruption Unit and the different corruption bodies in Uganda, you need to do enough. Many big shots, as they usually call them, are implicated in different corruption scandals, but they just get slight judgments. A few times back, one of the former government workers, I think she was, is it Alice Kaboyo? She was granted another office, approved to be, I think, a minister. After all the scandals that she went through, was fair judgment passed? Did the victims of her wrongdoing get justice? It doesn't make sense for a corrupt official with evidence that has been put out in the public eye continue to hold office. Such individuals should be let of their duties. They should give up the public offices. Us having corrupt officials to be in public offices will not help the fight of corruption in this country. Corruption tendencies will continue now and again. Look at the publications. In 2016, a full minister, Sam Kutesa, was implicated, though he denied the story. But information and evidence was put out there. In the Pandora Papers, another minister has been implicated. Still the same thing. He may not have come out publicly to deny this allegation, But still, how will this help in the fight for the reduction of corruption tendencies in the country? Thank you, all those that have been watching today's episode of Media Voices. You can subscribe to our channel. Facebook, we are Prince TV. YouTube, we are Prince Media Television. Or you can send us a question or comment on any story you'd want us to follow up to on our WhatsApp or email addresses below your screen. Enjoy your new week.